But the number one thing that we can do that will bring us all together is to show love. That's right. We gotta show love. We gotta show empathy, and we have to be willing. We have to be willing to hear from our hearts to each other. We have to open our hearts to each other. So we've been protesting for about the last week for an offense, a violation to our dear sister, Sha'teina Grady, violated at the hands of a Washtenaw County Sheriff's officer. Very vicious beating. But she's still standing, she's still here today, and we are so excited and grateful to have her here. We've been saying all week that Sha'teina brought us all out. But we know that these injustices have been going on for years and years and years. And so it's up to all of us to do something about it. Far too long, we've been turning our eyes. We've been blinding ourselves to the injustices that are going on. But please understand that if something happens to one of us, it happens to all of us. So taking that responsibility, knowing that we have to fight for the Grady family. We have to fight to make sure that there are no more George Floyds. We have to fight to make sure that there are no more Breonna Taylors. We have to fight to make sure that there are no more Trayvon Martins. We have to fight to make sure that there is no more injustice for people of color. How do we do it? And I'm going to be quick and I'm going to be out of the way. I tell people all the time, people of color, we cannot end the bondage of white supremacy and racism alone. We need all of us, all of our Caucasian brothers and sisters to take a stand. Challenge those ideologies within your family members. Challenge those ideologies around the water cooler at work. We have the opportunity to take control and make America be something that has never been before. They said make America great again. I'm sorry, we don't ever remember it being great. But we believe that if we put our minds together, put our heads together, and come together with accountability, we can do it. We can use our vote. We can use our voice. And let me tell you something. A lot of times we think that, oh, we voted and that's so great. That's just the beginning. When you vote, you just open the door. But you have to walk through the door to accountability, to hold your legislators accountable. Because if they do not hold our agenda, they do not need to be in office. And I want you to take a look around right now. If you don't see your legislators out here, they do not deserve your vote. All right, we're going to get out of the way. Thank you all for being here. And again, remember, if there's people out here that have not registered to vote, please, please, please register to vote. We'll have people here doing that. At the end, we have to take control. We have to do it the right way. And I believe this is a start, so give yourselves a hand. And we got coming to the mic right now. Please put your hands together for Sha'teina Grady L. Hi, everybody. How are you? Good. I'm glad to see so many faces out here who have come together with us on this journey. This is something that was needed. I want to say thank you so much to all of you. I really appreciate it. Me and my husband, we are in awe of this coming together. We have one day, maybe 2 days. We might have thought 3 days at the most that this would go on. But I am so glad, he is so happy that you are continuing the fight with us. I just have to give a big shout out and thank you to Trische. She is so awesome. She is Ethan. He is awesome. They are so organized that I couldn't have even thought that there would be these many protests as peaceful as they are. And I'm clapping it up for all of you because you're doing a great job at remembering what the purpose that serves us when we gather, and nothing else deters you from getting that message across. I really thank you. And then I just want to give a special thank you to Bill. I had told him just a few minutes ago, I didn't know where I would be without him, but I do. I would be behind bars. So if y'all could just give him a hand for me and my husband. I mean, he's been doing a great job. As Trische, she pretty much summed it up of what I would have said, is that, you know, about the injustices and how we must keep going. We have to let these legislators know that enough is enough. We're holding them accountable. They need to do what we want them to do because we put them in office. So we need to make sure that we keep them accountable for everything that they let pass underneath our noses, because a lot of times things pass and we don't know. So we have to stay involved. We have to stay involved. You can't just tell them what to do and think that they're gonna do it if they're, I don't wanna say, you know, but they just have to be held accountable. So again, thank you so much. The love is overwhelming. Thank you so much. You don't even know me from a can of paint, but that's what it's about. It's about looking out for our brothers and our sisters and being their keepers. If we don't look out for them, then who will? So again, thank you, and I'd like Bill to come up and take a couple of words, if he would.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Bill Amadeo. This is my co-counsel, Trovious Starr. We're working on the case together. I'll let Trovious speak in a minute. I just want to give you guys a quick update. As of right now, Wayne County has moved Tina's cases back a few more weeks. I have asked for everything to be dismissed. That's the only thing that's going to start justice. And I told them if we have to go to trial, we'll fight like hell for justice, but we may never repair if this has to go to trial. This woman's been through enough already. So that's where we stand on that. As far as the sheriff investigation goes, and this is pretty frustrating, I spoke to the Sheriff's Association, and they told me that they will not do anything to the sheriff that beat Sha'teina unless Sha'teina and Dan come in for an interview. What more do they need to see than what was on the video? Exactly. Sha'teina was beaten by a man 3 times her size for no reason. It was an invalid arrest. And people keep forgetting about Dan. Dan was tased for no reason. There's no reason that these charges in Washington should still be being furthered, which is just a cop-out. So Brian Mackey, if you're watching this, as far as Washington goes, you need to get off your ass and dismiss that case. Contact Tim Worthy and Jade Clayton and get justice moving, because we don't have justice right now. And I'm going to end on one thing and give it to my co-counsel, Jerry Clayton. We watched in horror when you gave your press conference on Friday. And what you did a week ago was you defended that officer for an hour and 9 minutes. And I understand you have a job to do. I understand there's pressures, but being a man is not an easy task. And you are not doing the right thing by Sha'teina and Dan and their family. So let me be real clear to you, Sheriff Clayton. I know you're watching this. You are not the victim. They are. Do the right thing. Everything is peaceful, and we beg you to do the right thing. But at some point, lip service gets old. You need action. We're doing our part. You have to do your part. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Trovious Starr. I'm one of Sha'teina's attorneys on this case. I just want everyone to take a moment and look around you. Just look around. Look around you. Look at all the different faces, the different ethnicities, the different backgrounds, religions. This is Ann Arbor. All right? What you see here today is Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor is for justice. Ann Arbor is for equality for all. no matter who you are, no matter who you date, no matter who you love, no matter how you look like, no matter your disability, no matter your impairment. Ann Arbor is justice for all and equality for all. In the past few days, I've had people to respectfully call me and say, hey man, what's it like for you? Black man growing up in America, what's it like for you? And when I thought about that, I thought about the time when I was in middle school, 7th grade. This is something just about every black person can attest to. We're having Bible study at my grandma's house, and the talk came up. Not to talk about the birds and the bees, but the talk. And that talk was, hey, this is what you do if you're ever in a situation where law enforcement has you detained. This is what you do. And that talk stuck with me. And it's unfortunate because it's 2020 and I still have to have that talk with my kids. That's unfortunate. We still have a long ways to go, a long ways to grow. Everyone makes mistakes. We acknowledge that. Everyone makes mistakes, even myself included. But it's all about what you do after that mistake. How do you learn? How do you grow from that mistake? How do you become better from that mistake? And unfortunately, with police departments across the nation, they have not learned from their mistakes. Their mistakes instead have emboldened them. It has made them feel superior and untouchable. We have to come together to stop that, because that is unacceptable. We pay the police. Every single person out here pays the police's salary, including the police chief, who is an elected official. It's our job, it's our duty to hold those people responsible, accountable, but most importantly, to listen to what we have to say so that change can be made. You cannot make change with a closed heart, only with an open one. And that not only goes for Black Lives Matter, but for all issues, disability issues, equality issues, gay rights, lesbian rights, transgender rights, all issues. This is what we're fighting for. This is what we're fighting for. We're fighting for our kids to grow up in a better America. An America where they feel free. America where they don't have to assimilate just to get a job. That's what we're fighting for, people. I thank you for your time, and remember, listen. Listen with open ears and an open heart. Change will come. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I see a lot of bikes out there. So several folks have been involved in the conversation about this on the Facebook event page, but the organizers thought it was important to give some context for why we're doing this ride in silence. Silence has been a part of cycling-based protests for about 20 years now, mostly to memorialize cyclists that have been killed by motor vehicles. But today, our silence takes on a broader message. First and foremost, our silence is intended to memorialize the Black lives that have been lost due to police violence and systemic racism. We also recognize that cycling is one of the many outdoor activities that excludes and is more dangerous for people of color. That the bike industry itself is predominantly white and often elitist, and that although many Black people use bikes daily as transportation, commuting cyclists are often left out of conversations about the cycling community. We want to acknowledge that cycling while Black is a complex thing, both in identity and in practice. There have been so many ways that white people like myself have marginalized and allowed for the murder of our Black neighbors. And that silence is often literal. We have often failed to stand up and speak out to the injustices we see in daily life. But sometimes that silence is figurative. It's our failure to prioritize Black businesses and farmers and to donate to causes that support Black families. Sometimes our silence is actually our inability to show up when it matters. Not just in protests, but to support people of color in other roles that are visible, like the arts and in public office. Sometimes our silence is our lack of silence. Our tendency to prioritize our own understanding and ideas about social justice without listening to the people who are most affected by the injustice itself. Tonight, our silence is a statement we can use to honor Black voices. Our silence is a statement that we have a responsibility to make cycling more accessible, more inclusive, and safer for people of color. Riding in silence creates space for everyone to reflect on how we can all be louder. Not only today, not only at protests, but in our everyday lives. So as we ride together tonight in silence, I challenge you to ask yourself, what barriers exist within the cycling community that exclude people of color, and what can I personally do to change it? We also hope that you use this moment to personally commit to celebrating the achievements of Black cyclists, becoming inspired by Black innovation in the cycling industry, to learn from Black bike advocates, and find ways to share the sheer joy of cycling with the next generation of Black cyclists. Look around you right now. This is your cycling community. Embrace it, and let's ride.
All right, hi everybody. My name's Ethan Kettner, and I'm an activist out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. I want to start off with something I need you all to repeat after me. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
What?
Black Lives Matter.
Again?
Black Lives Matter.
Keep going.
Black Lives Matter.
Let the city hear you.
Black Lives Matter.
Keep going. That's right. All right, thank you. Thank you so much for that. That's amazing. Yes, clap it up for yourselves. Just a quick note about myself. For those of you that don't know me, I do suffer from anxiety and depression. And typically, I can't stand in front of crowds. But because of the energy here and every single person that's here, I'm standing here now. So thank you so much. We've brought you here tonight because we're here for justice. Say after me, justice for Sha'teina. Justice for Sha'teina.
Justice for Sha'teina. Justice for Sha'teina. Justice for Sha'teina.
Great. We're also here tonight in solidarity for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Freddie Gray, Michael Brown, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, Alonzo Smith, William Chapman, Samuel DuBose, Willie McCoy, and all of those lives that have been lost to police brutality. So clap it up for them. We've also brought you all here together tonight because we need to end these senseless murders and band together and show that we the people are fed up with this. I want you to repeat this after me. The people united will never be defeated. 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 Great, great. Let's also remember that we pay the police to protect and serve. But what do they do instead? They murder our brothers and sisters in our own streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. That pretty much concludes my messages for today. A couple things that I do want to note about. We have an email list going for everybody that wants to continue to support our cause here. Go ahead and put your name down. Do try and come in an organized fashion so we're not all crowded up front here. Also, along with that, we have snacks and water that have been donated from people all across the country. I want you to realize right now that this is spreading across the nation. The support is amazing, it's incredible, and people have been emailing, people have been sending donations, people have been dropping off donations to my house, to friends' houses, so it's incredible. I want you all to clap your hands for all of those people that have supported us. I also want to thank Phyllis at Detroit Filling Station right behind you all. She brought down a bunch of ice for all of our coolers with water and everything, so thank you, Phyllis. One more quick note, and this is something that my sister Trische taught me. I want you to look to your left. I want you to look to your right. Tell everyone around you, you're my brother, you're my sister, I love you. We're here together, don't forget that. All right, next we're gonna bring up Desiree. Clap it up, clap it up.
Good evening, y'all. So this is officially my first time in public since the beginning of March. I'm feeling like it's hard to be among people, but I'm here today because this is so important. Whew. Okay. So I'm here, and everywhere I go, I bring all of me. Some of y'all might know me from different things I do in the community. Some of you, I might be new to you. I work at Interfaith Council for Peace and Justice. That is my paid job, y'all. I'm a 24-hour worker, though. I live in Ypsilanti. That is where I live. Any other Ypsilanti people out here? We know we're here. Hello. But everywhere I go, I'm a black woman first. And so I'm going to come and talk to you in that space. I love all people. Anybody else love all people in this crowd? But I can't love anyone more than I love black people. When I say Black Lives Matter, it means different things to different folks. When I say Black Lives Matter to non-black people, I'm saying I need you to love me as much as you love yourself. Some of y'all, I need you to love me more than you love yourself. When I say Black Lives Matter to other black folks, I'm calling. I'm saying I see you. I am here with you. You are seen and loved. Even in the darkness, even when it gets hard, I'm here with you. Since we're in Ann Arbor doing a bike ride, I'm gonna share some things from my perspective as a black woman, as I said, of what it looks like for you to love me. What it looks like to me for you to love me. According to Liberate, Don't Incarcerate, we just put out a message to the sheriff. And in that message, we talked about looking at the preliminary budget for 2019 to 2022. Of the $120 million tax revenue in the general fund, approximately 42%, about $50 million, is going to the sheriff's department. Approximately 2.6%, about $3 million, is going to our health department. We are in the middle of a pandemic and our health department is funded 16 times less than the sheriff's department. Why? What does public safety look like to you? I think that if public safety looks like being able to walk out and be safe, I think that we need to be thinking about public safety a little bit differently and putting our money where our mouth is, y'all. It's not enough to say this doesn't look good. It's not enough to say that we don't like it. We need to put our money where our mouth is and actually show what it means to love all people. I am tired of funding my own oppression. I am tired of funding my own oppression, and I hope you're tired too. So what does this look like? Defund the criminal and justice system, period. That's not just the police. That is also looking at the prosecutor's office. That is also looking at what's happening in our courts, in our courtrooms. I haven't yet watched what was happening in the courtroom when Ahmaud Arbery's people who killed him were trying to say that were not culpable. They're not responsible. They sat in that courtroom and that was okay because our eyes are not there. We have to have eyes everywhere at all times. What does it look like? We gotta talk about our schools too, y'all. We gotta talk about our schools because we can say it's bogus for school funding to come from property taxes, but I'm gonna need some of y'all to be sharing those monies with our excellent community school system. You can do it. They are elected officials. Go to them and tell them, I need money for all children. I need y'all to be calling, writing some letters, knocking on some doors, and telling your legislators to tax the wealthy. That might mean some of you. We need more funds, and you need to be willing to give up that money. It looks like only accepting a health care plan where everyone can be covered. No exceptions. Not only 90%, not 95%, 100%. You come into this country, you have a health care need, it gets fulfilled. This means removing all barriers to safe and affordable housing. Period. Period. No one can live on the street. How many people have to choose between paying rent and having food? If that's happening in your community, you have a housing crisis, no more questions, stop asking. It's true. Last thing, number 6, this is the next way you can show me that you love me. I want you to vote with a collective consciousness, not because of your individual interests. It's not about you. My community has been robbed. Robbed. If you don't know what that means, let me connect you with some of my brothers and sisters behind bars. You inform them about what's going on in their communities and let them tell you who to vote for. Because we been talking this loud in a long time. I really don't know how to say anything else, but I just thank you all for being here. I have to feel this energy because it is what helps me to push through and all the pain that I feel as a Black mother. My 3-year-old keeps saying, "What are you talking about, Mama? What are you talking about, Mama? What did the police do?" And I have to tell her, they were doing some violence, honey. Why are they doing violence, Mama? Because they just don't know the love that we have in our hearts for one another. It is our job to teach them. And if they can't learn it, we need to take their money away. We need to build what we need. Thank you. I love you. Let's ride.
I heard you want to hear about the police. I'm Lisa Jackson. I am from the Independent Community Police Oversight Commission. I know you guys have questions for your politicians. I know you have questions for the police, but right now I have questions for you. Do you want justice for George Floyd? Do you want police transparency? Today would have been Breonna Taylor's 27th birthday. Do you want police accountability for her? You know, for the last week, folks have been calling me and writing me in my capacity on the Police Oversight Commission, and I think a lot of people have just wanted some reassurance that something like that won't happen in Ann Arbor. But it's already happened here. You remember? November 10th, 2014, an Ann Arbor police officer killed Ora Rosser. She was a Black woman like me. She was a mom like me. She was shot within a few seconds of the police showing up at her door. Let's be honest, people. If she was a white woman, she'd be here today. Has there been any accountability for her death? No. Has there been any transparency? No. Police oversight happened in Baltimore because of Freddie Gray. Police oversight happened in Ferguson because of Michael Brown. And 5 years after her death, in Ann Arbor, we have police oversight because of Ora Rosser. However, the police union fought really hard to make sure the city council didn't give us much power. But we need to know if an officer has had 18 complaints filed against them like Derek Chauvin and what those complaints are. You need to know, don't you? Do you deserve to know that? Okay. But right now, not even I can get that information out of the police. Is that transparency? No. Do you want good cops to be silent while other cops break the law? No. Is that police accountability? No. We have seen George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor before. We lost Ora Rosser 5 years ago, and as a Black woman in 2020, like so many of you here, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of marching. I'm tired. I'm tired of watching people die in the streets before our very eyes. I'm tired of worrying about my family's safety. I'm tired of having that talk that somebody mentioned earlier with my kids, with my nephew, because deep down, you know it doesn't really matter if they're compliant. Being compliant does not guarantee that they're going to come home alive. Is anybody else tired of having those talks? I know George Floyd's name. I know Ahmaud Arbery's name, and Breonna Taylor's name, and Eric Garner's name, and Michael Brown's name, and Sandra Bland's name. I know Ora Rosser's name. But I want police names. moved when you call them. They are moved when you email. This is why that police contract was not on the agenda on June 1st, because you emailed, because you called them. That is why. So after you ride today, I need you to go home, email your city council person and tell them we need to see police names. I need you to show up on June 15th at the city council meeting. I need you to show up on June 16th when the police oversight committee meeting meets. You can show up on June 16th, in 1 month, in 2 months, in 3 months, in 6 months. Keep showing up. People are banking on the fact that you will forget and move on, but we cannot move on. We will not forget. Let the city know that the people care. Let the city know that you are watching. We are going to keep pushing for transparency. We're going to keep pushing for accountability, because we will remember George Floyd. Yes. We will remember Ora Rosser. Yes. And we need you to keep saying their names with us. Thank you.
Thanks so much to all of our speakers. I'm here to give a safety announcement. So, lots of new cyclists here, which is incredible. So when we ride as one group. This means we'll stop we hit a light or we hit a stop sign, we'll stop, and then we'll continue on until every person is through. The second thing is we have a few people leading the ride who you will see in front. And then we have people at the back making sure everyone gets in safely with mechanical and medical equipment. And we also have some medics who will be dragging behind and also biking throughout the crowd. Also, we'll have some people coordinating intersections, and there also might be police who stop intersections too. And also, please ride as far to the right as possible, but no need to stay in a lane. There are a lot of us. Finally, this ride will be completed in complete silence. This is a tradition in the cycling community to honor the lives of people who have been killed and protest their deaths. And while you're silent, take some time to reflect upon your own racism. Take some time to think about what you can do about that. And I'll give you a hint. Money helps.
I'm the other safety person. If you've been to any of the other events, my name's Courtney. You've seen me running around in this really beautiful vest, making sure everybody has water and snacks. So I'm just here to let you know we've got loads of water here. Please take some if you have not brought it. It is very hot, very humid. There is also going to be another station over at Burns Park. I have a wonderful team of medics who have come out for us today. If I could just get one of you to come out, maybe stand on a table so you know what they look like. They're all wearing black shirts with red crosses. We're gonna have a vehicle at the back. It will fit your bike as well. Isn't he lovely? Isn't he lovely? They're all that lovely. And so we want you to stay safe. Your voices do not work if you are passed out, if you are in the hospital, if you are hurt. It is important that you take care of yourselves and each other. Unfortunately, there is one other thing I must address with you this evening, and that is agitators. So they're coming out. They've been out nearly every day, and they're here to disrupt us. So we're not doing that tonight. We're not engaging. Tonight is a vigil. It is a moving vigil to all these lives lost, and we will honor it. We gotta ride, quiet. They're out here because this is their death throw. We are taking over. What they do is no longer allowed. This is it. We are ending it. And they are scared. And they see these institutions of ignorance and hate that they hold so dear disintegrating in front of their eyes. Good job. You're doing it. Each and every one of you is doing it. And I know that you're angry, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But we will keep our anger focused. You will not forget why you are here. They are here to distract you, to take you off this message. Hopefully, their end goal, what they want, is to get you out of the crowd and to fight and to take away from what we're doing. We're not doing that. I've spent 20 years of my life getting hate yelled in my face for how I was born. And I know some of you are new to it, but don't engage. It's not okay. It's not why we're here. If you have to look at them, because I don't even want you to look at them. If you have to look at them, meet their eye and hold it. Yeah. If you have to speak, we're not supposed to speak tonight. If you have to speak, I'll give you 3 options. You can say, I love you. You can say, I'm praying for you. Or you can go with the Southern way and say, bless your heart. Okay? But our silence is powerful. Many of the people speaking tonight have given you wonderful things to reflect on. I'll give you one more. Because that silence holds a space where all the voices of those that have been lost should be. Do not take away from their space. Stay focused, stay together, stay united, because if you don't, we won't make it. Stay on message. Cool? All right. Let's go.
Okay. Nice to meet you. You guys are doing God's work. Yeah, nice to meet you. Take care of yourself.